Yeah, first I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody involved in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. It was about 3 weeks ago, 3+ weeks ago. Standing here and, I was leaving town that day. Really kind of impacted me a little bit. Just what a great opportunity this is going to be for our football team. And, it's been way better than we even could have envisioned. Starting with the whole Steinbrenner family, everybody involved in the Yankees organization. They've just been absolutely fantastic. And our ops people came out here before the game, worked with the staff here, and they said they've never gone through anything like this. So everything's been first class. I think that's just synonymous with the Yankee organization. So we feel very privileged to have been here and very, very fortunate in that regard. I want to congratulate Boston College. It was a very, very tough competitive game. They've had a heck of a year and really came on strong the second part of the season. And we're playing more than strong in that first half as well. So we knew we had our work cut out coming here for this football game. Certainly you all witnessed the same thing. They're an excellent football team, very well coached, and players that play hard. And, so we congratulate them. And then I think the game in a lot of ways was reflective of our season. We've had some ups and downs this year, some turbulence along the way, that type of thing. But the guys pushed through it. And that certainly is what happened today. And the first half, Boston College did a really good job against us. We didn't play our best, and that's not a good mix. But just couldn't be prouder of our team in the second half. They came out, thought they played tough, gritty football, and certainly we were playing in tough conditions. This is just, it was a real challenge for both teams with the weather, certainly the field, and it's just December, January football. It's always going to be a challenge. So for our team to come out the way they did in that second half and push through it, to me it was a breakthrough moment for us, and just really happy for our team, very proud of our team, especially proud of our seniors, leadership that they've given us, not only this past month, but this past couple of years. They've done a great job. And for Akron to come home, have a breakthrough moment like this, for us to get a bowl victory for our fans, certainly important for us. And Josh Jackson to get his 8th pick of the season. All those things are really significant, make it special. So just really happy for our football team, very, very proud of them, and I'll throw it out for questions.
For these seniors...
Folks, if you could just wait for the mic, please.
I'll let you take a drink there, Kirk.
Thank you,
Scott Document, Cedar Rapids.
What? No.
Oh, used to that, sorry. For the seniors, they've been a part of really the last 3 years, what they experienced in 2015 and how they kind of rebuilt your program in some ways, and then now to share this moment with them. What was that like for you after the game?
The best part of what we do is the players, and by my count, it's 28 wins for this guy's last 3 years. So, we work with, and it's easy to talk about a guy like Josie Jewell, easy to talk about Neiman, who plays a little bit more quietly, Akram, a marquee guy. But, you think about guys that were injured, Miles not being out there, certainly Boone and Ike. That's tough. And a guy like Dan Gaff, who just works his tail off, all the time, on the scout team. So, that's the neatest thing about football. We have such a large, diverse group. And, when those guys are working together, it's a lot of fun. So, it's always tough to say goodbye to your senior class, that's for sure.
Bobby LaJust, land of 10. Kirk, a guy like Anthony Nelson's made a lot of plays for you guys off the edge the last couple of years. Does it, a big moment there. Was that kind of what you guys needed, somebody to step up with a big play like that at the end like that?
Yeah, in a game like this, you just never know. And we were having a hard time coming up with anything to slow them down at all in the first half. So it was a pivotal moment. There were a lot of pivotal moments in this ball game, but certainly to get the stop, not only get a stop in that point, but a turnover. We were hoping they were due. They've done a great job. They're very disciplined, very well coached. So to get the turnover there, that really gave us a spark. And when you're in a game like this, sparks are huge. So it's not a shock that Anthony. That's one thing. He's got a really good first step, and he's given us some sparks during the last 2 years.
Mark Morris, director. Does that moving Akron to kickoff return in this game? I know it had been since Iowa State, I think. What was the thinking?
Well, the biggest thing, Amir came up injured here. He got injured about a week ago Sunday. I guess it would have been. I'm losing track right now, but it was a Sunday practice, and you know, that just didn't respond. We were hopeful maybe he'd be able to go. So, you know, he's done a nice job back there. So we just felt like, you know, this is Akers senior year. We're going to use every bolt we got. And certainly, you know, he gave us a real spark out there in a lot of different ways today. But the kick return part of it was a big part too.
Tom Kagert, Hawkeye Report. Kirk, you have now tied Coach Fry in wins. What does that mean to you?
You know, a couple things. I mean, probably one of the best decisions I've made outside of asking my wife to marry me was coming to Iowa in 1981, June 1981. And it's like so many things in life, you know, you have no idea what you're about to walk into. And I certainly was totally clueless at that point. Didn't know much about Iowa. I knew Coach Fry was a square-jawed Texan, ex-Marine, that's about it. And I knew Iowa wasn't very good. So, you know, when I got there in 81, I don't know if our expectations were real high. Those next 9 years were very special. And then to have an opportunity to come back 19 years ago, you know, I just really consider myself extremely fortunate. And it just gets down to the people you're with every day, you know. And, yeah, the one commonality in my 28 years there, we've had great players to work with. I've worked with great coaches at all levels, great support staff. It's a tremendous campus. We've enjoyed, you know, outstanding leadership. And the state of Iowa is a great place to live. So, again, 1981 June, I had no clue. And, you know, however many years that is later, you know, feel very fortunate.
Chad Lystico, Des Moines Register. How big a deal was the bowl losing streak, and what kind of difference does it make? This is the first time since 2010 you ended your season with a victory. Is that a big deal?
That's probably a bigger deal, quite frankly. None of these guys had anything to do with the games that we haven't won. You know, and you know, so it's kind of like, you know, every game's a new discussion, every season's a new discussion. But one thing that is good is when finishing with a win. Like you're saying, a question about that. And it's a couple levels. First of all, most importantly, is to give those seniors that we referenced a little while ago, give them a really you know, good memory to leave on. And I don't think there's a college player that doesn't remember their last game, whether it was a bowl game or they didn't get a chance to play in one. So that's really special. And then, you know, what it does in terms of hopefully, you know, teaching the younger guys, you know, just the value of doing all the things you have to do during the month of December to get ready for a bowl game. So hopefully it'll reinforce that, and maybe next year when we talk about it, assuming we can earn a bowl invitation again, you know, maybe it'll have a little bit more meaning, a little bit more gravity.
Over on the right side of the room, Coach.
Coach John Sears, WHO TV. What changed in the second half defensively to really hold them down?
You know, I wish I could tell you. It wasn't anything I said. Maybe the defensive guys made some adjustments, but I just, you know, we just played a little tougher, a little grittier in the second half, and you know, again, the conditions were tough, but you know, both teams were playing on the same field, so that's not an excuse, but just looked like we were catching a little bit instead of striking and being the aggressor. And certainly in the second half, I think we did a lot better, and certainly it starts up front too. You know, that's where a lot of good things happen.
We're going left side of the room, and then we'll go to you, Scott.
Hey, Coach, EJ Zarrett, Sporting News. When Josh was able to come up with that pick at the end, what kind of went through your head, and what did his play mean for you this season as a whole?
Well, you know, the best part about, first of all, at the end, it was really good because, you know, not that the game was over at that point, but it took them out of the scoring threat and gave us a chance to eat some clock. So, you know, that was obviously really good. I think the neatest thing about what Josh has done this year, and our local folks understand this, you know, he's a first-year starter. We had a guy named Brad Banks ended up being the AP Player of the Year, runner-up to the Heisman back in 2002. Started 1 year in major college football, 2002, and what a phenomenal year he had, what a leadership role he played. And Josh is very similar. You know, he went from being a guy who hadn't started a ball game, or he started one technically, last year's bowl game, to, you know, not only being a really good player this year, he got voted as a captain as a junior. I think it just shows you, you know, the respect that he has from everybody involved. Yeah, and like a lot of the great players that we've had historically, I've been very fortunate. We've had a lot of guys in our program that, you know, we have up in a pretty held place. That they're better guys than they are players. And Josh, that's exactly what I tell you about. He's got tremendous attitude, just a great work ethic, always upbeat. You know, he's the kind of guy you want in front of the room, you want in front of your other players. And he went that way 3 years ago. He had a good attitude, but he had a lot of loose ends. But boy, he's matured and just done such a great job as a result of his hard work. You know, and the way he came that way to us. You know, great family. So he's just a tremendous young man. It's just fun to watch him, you know, things come together for him through his hard work.
First row on the right, Scott.
Kirk, you kind of mentioned that this game was almost a symbol of your season in some ways. After at halftime you're outgained by about 200 yards. But what does it say about the perseverance of your team this year that it can come back, make plays, and everybody who had made plays all year, Nathan Stanley's up, threw a touchdown pass, what Akers did, Anthony Nelson, Josie Jewell was all over the field again, Josh Jackson. I mean, what does it say about your team and the perseverance they had?
I was never a very good player, but one thing I have a lot of experience at is getting my ass kicked. Okay, so I've been through that several times professionally, and what you learn is you just go back and go back to work. So whether it's a game we lost or whatever, you got to turn the page and focus on what's in front of you, and I think that's what our team did at halftime. We were not playing our best football, and they were playing very well, but it was a one-score game at that point. We had the ball, we had a chance to get right back in it. But clearly we had to change our tempo and demeanor a little bit, and I think our guys just made up their minds to do that, and that's the good thing about sports, about life. As long as you're alive, you get to fight another day, and fortunately our guys made up their minds to be a little bit more determined in that second half.
We'll take one or two more all the way in the back on the left.
Neil O'Brien, CBS 2 Iowa. First question. Akram, was he okay that, in that opportunity with that goal line touchdown? Did you think about giving it to him so he could tie the record, but then also building off of that second part of the question? We've talked about it, Akram's rise from somebody who ball security was a question, the weight was a question. What does it mean for you as his coach the last 5 years to see him come home and do what he did tonight?
First of all, I'm not a good stat guy, so, we probably would have given him the ball. I guess I didn't realize he was that close to that record. I'm more fixated on his back-to-back 1,000 yards, what a career he's had. And I would echo the comments I made about Josh. Akram's always been a great guy to work with, great attitude, great personality. And he loves football. But, he had some loose ends too, early part of his career. To me, as you know, is in the 15 season at Northwestern, that's really where I think he realized, just how important it is when you carry the football. You carry everybody with you, and since that time, it's just his career's really propelled upwards. So, just happy for him to be home like this and do it in front of so many family and friends. That's even better. So, just really happy for him, and I wish him and all of our seniors nothing but the best moving forward. They're all going to do a great job.
Last one here on the right.
Coach, speaking of running backs, obviously you've seen your fair share of good ones this year. Can you assess A.J. Dillon and his performance?
Yeah, his numbers speak for himself. He looked really good on film, and then certainly tonight, we didn't tackle him real well, especially in that first half. And it was tough, as you guys saw. It was tough for anybody with the ball, unless you're going vertically. Tough to really make cuts, that type of thing. A lot of people slip in that type of deal, but he's a strong player. And just talking to the folks from Boston College, it sounds like I've just talked about Josh and Akram. Sounds like he's an outstanding young man too, and that's good for our sport. I think that's one of the great things about college football. These guys do so many things beyond play well out in the field and do so many things that impact their campus and teammates. And when your best players are guys like that, that's really outstanding. So I guess unless we play him in a bowl game, we won't have to play him again for the next 3 years, which is just fine with me. He's a heck of a player.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.